Welcome everyone to the eMedica AKT Pass Guarantee Program orientation for the 150-day program for the April 2023 AKT exam. Let me just go through what we're going to cover. Really, this is a chance for you to meet the team, for us to go through exactly how the Pass Guarantee program works, how to do your daily tasks, and how to submit your work for your weekly tasks. And joining me today on the panel as faculty, we have Masuda Rahman and Anna Greathead from the core eMedica team. Okay. So just want to remind you of this message, which for those that have already received your welcome pack, you'll see in the welcome pack that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step from Lao Tzu. And that's really important because, you know, it can seem overwhelming when you think how large the curriculum is. A lot of people, just the thought of it and how am I going to actually tackle it, or what do I need to study and how to structure it, that can be overwhelming in itself. So well done on taking this first step, and that is joining a program where all of that's done for you. We've done all the structuring, so you don't need to worry at all about how will I cover this or that. You know, all you have to do is focus on one step at a time to do the work. Okay, we'll cover all the key topics that you need between now and the end of the program. You just need to focus on making sure you stick to the program and do the work. But that's a big first step. So, you know, just focus on the step in front of you. Don't worry about how large the mountain seems. Just focus on one step. It's manageable, and we've broken it down. At the end, when you look back, the last webinar will be the evening before the exam. And when you look back at how much we've covered, it's going to give you a huge amount of confidence knowing that you've done all of the work, you've covered all the topics that you need to cover, that you've developed your exam technique, and that you're ready for the exam. Okay, so let's make a start. Let me introduce you to myself and the rest of the team. So my name is Muhibur Rahman. I'm a portfolio GP and medical director of eMedica. I did my GP training in Neath Port Talbot in South Wales, passed my MRCGP with merit back in 2007. I got FRCGP in 2019 for my work in medical education and humanitarian medicine. I'm one of the authors of the Prescribing Safety Assessment, which some of you will have done when you entered Foundation. I've also written various books, articles, study guides for MRCGP, AKT, CSA, RCA. I was an examiner and invigilator for the GMC for their PLAB 2 OSCE, and I continue to examine for Liverpool Medical School for OSCEs. I've been writing and teaching about MRCGP now for 17 plus years. So let me introduce you to the rest of the team. So Masuda Rahman is Director of E-Learning at eMedica. She will be part of the faculty for every single course and webinar that you're going to see. Masuda.
Okay, well, welcome everybody. Just welcome to the Pass Guarantee program. We are going to be spending a lot of time together over the next 5 months. As Dr. Rahman said, you're going to be seeing me virtually in every webinar that you're going to be at, and there's going to be quite a few of them. You're going to be surprised how quickly we become part of your daily routine and how quickly those good study habits start building and your knowledge base is going to start to grow. You'll be surprised how quickly that all kicks in. Now, we may not be seeing you face to face, but we will be seeing your work come in every day. We're going to be seeing your questions on the webinars. We're going to be here with you really every step of the day, every step of the way. So please just remember that you're not alone for any part of this process. We're always here. Never hesitate to drop us an email, ask questions on the webinars. That's what we're here for. We don't mind, we welcome them. So we're going to be watching your progress. We're going to be thinking of you on the day of the exam. We're going to be waiting with you on the edge of our seats for those results. That might even be the hardest bit. Just remember, whatever happens, we're here.
Thanks very much, Masuda. And then Anna Greathead, who's part of the eMedica e-learning team, and will also be faculty for all the course and webinars. And Anna's also the main admin for the PGP WhatsApp group. So we have a WhatsApp group for each cohort. So there'll be a group just for those of you on the 150-day program for April, so that, you know, you're doing your work at the same time, so you're all on the same page. So that can be helpful if you've got questions, queries. Some people find it helpful to discuss that within the group. And Anna will sort of moderate that lightly, but also will be at every course. So Anna, would you like to say a few words?
Hi, really looking forward to meeting you and working with you in this. I recognise a few familiar names, a few people who've been on the course before. You kind of know how things work. I just, you know, it's a long journey, but it can be really fruitful and it can be really, really helpful, not just for passing the AKT, but also setting knowledge in for your future careers. And if I could offer you 3 pieces of core advice right at the beginning, The first is really commit to the program. It is intensive, and if you fall behind, it's very, very difficult to catch up, and the program doesn't work well if you try and cram. It works much better being little and often all the time. The second thing is be organized. I know it's very, very easy to, let things slide, but make sure you know where your emails are, where, if you see a document, you think, I want to refer to that again, make sure you save it somewhere on your computer or you put it in a safe place in your folder. Don't waste time looking for things or trying to remember things which just because you've mislaid them. I know that's tricky, but it really will be invaluable later on. And the third thing is trust the process. At the beginning of the course, it's likely, at the beginning of the program, it's likely you're going to get very low scores. And it's because our questions are a learning activity, not an assessment. So, when you're learning something, you don't beat yourself up for not already knowing it. So don't judge judge your progress on the fact that your scores are low at the beginning. They're low at the beginning because you're learning, you're building it all together. Trust that process. By the end, it will all come together. And we'll look forward to hearing great news from you in the results in May. Okay, so looking forward to working with you.
Thank you very much. Okay, good. And then I'll just introduce you to Dr. Kennedy Umej. He's not here this evening. He's got other work commitments, but he's our eMedica AKT mentor. So he was in your shoes, several programs back. He completed the Pass Guarantee program in one of the early editions and is one of the highest scorers ever, not just from our cohorts, but of AKTF. He scored 95% overall. And he continues to work with us as a support mechanism. So he primarily offers support via the WhatsApp group. So again, often if people have got queries about specific questions, about how to study, how to make the most use of something, first of all, you see that people put it in the group and the process of discussing it is part of your learning. But then if it's still not resolved, you'll see that Kennedy will come in and help with answering some of your queries, okay? So you'll see that he'll be in the WhatsApp group. For those of you that want to join the WhatsApp group, we cannot add you because of data protection. If you want to add yourself, we will send you in the welcome email, which you'll get the day before the program starts. And also on the day one email, on day one of the program, there will be a link to join the WhatsApp group if you would like to. It's optional, but a lot of people do find that helpful. Okay. So, and you'll also get emails, and if you've got queries, you can contact the office via email at info@emedica.co.uk, the same email you will have received other things from us, but you might get emails or talk to or have interaction with other members of the team. So Selina Begum, Tuba Jamil, Jubaida Khatun, Rabia Hussein, Mariam bint Mu'min. Okay, so the whole team is here to support you. So let's go through how the program works. So you're on the 150-day program, which is great. It means that you've got 5 months. It means that it's slightly more spread out. So what will happen is the first 4 months, days 1 to 120, so the first 4 months of the program, you'll get an email every other day, which will have daily and weekly tasks. Now, the daily tasks, you've got 48 hours in that first 4 months to finish all of them, until the next email hits. The weekly tasks will have a set deadline, and that will be written down in the email, okay? Once you get to the last 30 days, the last month of the 5-month program, you're going to get an email and you'll get workload every day. So, the intensity will also increase in terms of how much work you're going to do. So that's a big jump, but that's why you've got that first 4 months where, and that's a lot of people join this program because, they're busy, they've got other responsibilities, and the intensity of doing work every single day for 3 months, is very challenging. That last month, we need that intensity though. We've got to build up that intensity. So the first 4 months, it's every other day. The last month, it's every single day, okay? And what will happen is you'll get an email, and within that email, there'll be links to a question of the day. You answer the question, we'll be sent what you answered. Then there'll be a link to do further reading from that. There'll be sets of online revision questions from the eMedica question bank. Again, when you finish that, we'll automatically be sent the results. And we gather all of the data from the work that you do in the early part of the program, so that in the last part of the program, every single one of you will get a completely different individual targeted learning plan to target your weaker areas, the areas you need more support on. There'll also be reading. So we'll use nationally recognized sources. So the same sources that the examiners use to draw as reference material. So things like Oxford Handbook of General Practice, the current edition, NICE CKS, and other national guidelines. Okay. There'll also be, as part of the weekly exercises, there'll be various learning exercises. Sometimes we might ask you to watch a video, then answer questions on it. Sometimes we'll ask you to make your own topic reviews to show that you've learned on a topic. Sometimes we might give you some questions to do from the RCGP self-test bank. Okay, so the weekly tasks, there's a variety of things. Sometimes there'll be knowledge challenges from the RCGP, additional questions to do. In terms of reading, some of the reading that you'll be set in the daily emails comes from the Oxford Handbook of General Practice. It's important that you have the 5th edition. Now, a lot of you will already have that because it's a core text for GP training. A lot of GP trainees get this in their first year when they start ST1, okay, as a companion. If you already have an older version, it just is no good. Even the 5th edition, I'll tell you now that there will be some things that, because it was published in 2020, that guidelines, some of them have changed 2021, 2022. So there may be some things that you read, and later on when we cover it in the webinar, you'll find that the guidelines been updated. Don't worry, wherever things have changed, we will cover the latest one as part of the taught material throughout the rest of the program. You're going to use this as a base. A lot of it hasn't changed in terms of how things present hasn't changed. What sometimes has changed is the management, but we'll use this. So if you don't already have it, I'll paste into the chat where you can get it, okay? Or someone in the team will, okay? But essentially, you can get it from Amazon. You can get it next day delivery, okay? So, feel free just to order it. There's also a Kindle version. Some people really prefer to have the print version because then you can highlight it as you go. Sometimes that's useful for learning, okay? But it's really important you have the 5th edition. 4th edition is no good. You'll be learning almost everything in its out of date. So you'll be learning things that actually harm you, okay? In that it's going to need you to unlearn it. And then what's really important is that you track your progress and you enjoy the little wins along the way. So there's various things that are going to be in your welcome box. Now, those of you that joined earlier, you should already have your physical welcome box. Those that joined in the last day or two, your welcome box will be on the way. Don't worry, you'll hopefully have it before the start of the program, but you'll have access to the digital versions of all of these as well. So on the back of the postcard with that picture and that message of the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step is your daily progress tracker. So you can see there will be 90 of the emails, the daily emails that will come to you throughout the program. So remember, the first 4 months, you'll get one every other day. So you can see on day 1, you'll get email number 1. Day 2, you won't get an email. The next day, you'll get email number 2, okay? And then in the last month, it'll be every day. But one of the things is, when you've done everything for the daily task, you've read the question, you've read the reading related to that, you've done the online revision questions, you've read the case cards, you've done the reading associated, pick this off, hang this on your notice board somewhere. So it's a visual as a reminder, because when you get now down here, it's going to give you a real sense of satisfaction that, it's been really hard work to get to this point, but look how much I've done. And we're now nearly a quarter of the way there. When you get here, I'm halfway. When you get here, I'm nearly in the last stretch now. And then this last month, when it's really intense, each day it'd be a sense of satisfaction. You see, when you look back on the last day, wow, this whole thing is ticked off. You realize how much work you've done, okay? There's also your curriculum checklist and your program timetable in your welcome pack. So the curriculum checklist, we've taken about 600 of the core topics from, if you look at the RCGP curriculum document, it's like 280 pages, okay? It's not practically useful on a day-to-day basis. It's useful as a reference, but in terms of actually making sure and seeing, where am I in my progress, we've taken the topics and made it as an actual checklist, because that doesn't actually have a checklist in it, the RCGP document, okay? So again, what I recommend you do is by the end of the program, we will have covered every single topic within this. But as you cover a topic, you will see that we've split it in the clinical by the same headings in the RCGP curriculum. For stats, we've covered all the key topics. For admin, all the topics. As you do a topic, tick it off. Because again, when you start, it's empty. Nothing's ticked, okay? Maybe on the first day, you might tick something here, something here, something here. By the time we've done halfway, you find lots of ticks. When you get to the last webinar and you look back, every single topic is ticked. It's going to give you a huge amount of confidence because you've covered the curriculum. that can really give you a sense of confidence when you get to the exam, that, you know what, you can get the odd hard question, but I know that I've covered the topics. I can have a go at it. Okay. And then the program timetable is also there on in your welcome pack. And at the bottom of every email, I'll show you and work you through an email in a minute, but at the bottom of every email, there's a link to the resources page. It looks like this. So you'll see at the bottom part of the email is the reading to help you for the next few days. Then you'll have a reminder of the next live session. Okay. So the next live session will be the 7th of December. And then there's this link to the resources page. Okay. When you click this, okay, this resources page link here, it will take you to a page like this. Now, your one at the moment will just have these things. Okay. And it will have, after we process the video of today, the 150-day program orientation, you'll see that this link will appear. This link won't be there yet. It will appear later after the 90-day program joins us. Okay. After we've done that first high yield webinar on the 7th of December, a few days later, once we process the video, automatically this will appear. And when you click it, you'll be able to watch the video. When you click this, you'll be able to download the topic review with the teaching slides from that webinar. Okay. This will appear a few days after we've done the second one. And then by the time we've done the end of the program, you'll see that this page, when you scroll down it, there'll be High Yield Webinar 3, there'll be the full day AKT course, the recording, the AKT 200, the stats webinar, the admin webinar, the clinical grammar 1, clinical grammar 2, High Yield Webinar 4, High Yield Webinar 5, every single video and everything will be all in one page. So this one resources page, you can link to it from any email that we send you once the program starts. At the bottom of the email, you'll see this green box. That's the one you're going to click, okay? And you'll need to use your login. This is all protected. But within that, you'll be able to download the timetable. So you'll have all the dates at the beginning, put them in your diary for the full day courses, the half day courses, the webinars. You'll be able to download the curriculum guide. This is, this thing, which you actually have in print version to actually physically tick off. Sometimes you just want to have a quick look at it and you're at work, you haven't got the printed one. You can access it from your resources page at any point, okay? You'll be able to download samples of topic reviews, which are related to one of the tasks that we do at the beginning, the high yield topic checklist, frequently asked questions about the program, and so on. Okay, so you've got lots of useful resources there. So let me show you, work you through one of the emails and show you how you go through it and how to submit work for the weekly tasks. One thing before I do, at the bottom of the email, and I'll show you when we go through the email, will be this message right at the bottom, underneath our logo, underneath the resources page. And that's because as part of, again, good data protection, we have to make it easy for people that don't want to receive emails from us to opt out, to unsubscribe. Please only click either this or this if you want to leave the program and you don't want to get emails from us anymore. If you click unsubscribe, we cannot send you more emails, okay? And, if you do it by mistake, contact us, we can add you back once. But one of the things is that if the system picks up that someone that has clicked unsubscribe is getting re-added back, you see, that can impact that. It might think, oh, these people aren't respecting data protection, and they keep adding people back that don't want to be part of their list. What that means is sometimes that we just won't be able to add your email back. It will just act as a block. Your email provider will flag it. So please do not click unsubscribe here or here unless you genuinely don't want to get any more emails and want to leave the program, okay, which you don't want to do. So please don't do it. We have to include it because it's part of good data management and good email management, that you have to make it easy if someone wants to stop getting emails, to make it easy for them to unsubscribe. Okay. So let me work through an email and then I'll take any questions alongside the team. Okay. So let me show you. Right. First of all, you're going to get an email the day before we start. Okay. Which will look like this. It will be just a welcome email, and it will have a link to the recording of what we've just done today, okay? So that if you want to watch this session, at the moment doesn't link to anything because we haven't processed this video, but and there'll also be a link to join the WhatsApp group. It'll also give you, before we start, some reading. Now, because the program is starting on weekend days, there's more work than on weekdays, right? So this might seem like a lot of reading. That's because this is on a weekend. Remember, you've got 48 hours to complete the daily task. So this is going to prepare you. There's no questions here because this isn't starting. This is like, if you like, the day zero email. This is just to give you a chance to watch this back again if you want to join the WhatsApp group and just start doing some reading to ease you into it. Again, there'll be a link to the resources page here, okay? Then what will happen is the day 2 email, the day 1 email, sorry, the day 1 email will look like this, okay? So, and this is how the rest of the emails will look like. So this will just tell you that essentially you need to work through your tasks. And once you go down, there's a welcome exercise, which is part of only day 1. Right at the beginning of the program, one of the things we want you to do is click this through, put your name, put your email, and we want you to list the 5 topics that you feel least confident in for AKT. Be specific. It's got to be something that you can deal with in a day. So there's no point, for example, putting here the whole of ENT. You can't learn the whole of ENT in a day. But within ENT, maybe you've always struggled with many years. You could read that and then write your own concise topic review, the key points, and then you're going to submit that to us. Why? By starting to learn and master your weakest areas right at the beginning, it's going to help you to, 1, learn how to make things concise, start putting them into long-term memory, but 2, you're starting to overcome the things that you like the least right at the beginning. And then throughout, we're going to cover that. So, put down your topics and then click submit, okay? If I go back to the day 1 email, and you just work down, again, there'll be a link to the orientation video, there's a link to join the WhatsApp group. Then on the weekends, you get twice the work. So you can see normally on weekdays, there'll be one of these questions of the day. So you click it, put in the email that you've registered. So I'm going to put info at eMedica, i.e. the eMedica email. This is the one, if you've got any queries, you need support for something, use this email, okay? Have a read of the question, select an answer, click next. Whether you get it right or wrong, read the explanation, then click through to read the relevant reading from the NICE guideline, okay? That's one part done, okay? On the weekend, there'll be another question of the day, okay? Then there'll be online questions. So when you click this, you'll have to log in. I've already logged in, so it's going to take me to the start. Again, you put your name, okay? I need to put doctor. And I'll put the same email. Always use the same email so that we can track all of, that data so that we can build your personalized plan at the end, okay? So you're going to work through, there's going to be 20 questions, you're going to read the explanations, you're going to make notes. If there are ones that you get wrong, you might want to read up about that topic in a bit more detail. But when you get to the end, it will send us the results so that we can see how you're getting on, which areas you need more support with. So you just work your way through and do all of the questions, okay? Back to the email, okay? Again, there'll be a second set when it's a weekend. When it's a weekday, there'll be one. Then there's case cards. So if you've got your physical case cards, you're going to read 1 and 2. If they haven't arrived yet, when you click the digital case cards, once you log in, it will take you to see the digital case cards. So you're going to look at number 1 and number 2, and you're going to read through them, okay? So number 1, number 2, okay, great, you've done that. Right, can you see, now you've done all of that, there's a reminder of the deadline for your weekly task. So the first weekly task is to do topic reviews on those 5 subjects that you identify in your welcome exercise. And when you've done them, you're going to click here to submit. Again, name, email, and you're going to upload each one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 topic reviews, okay? You can see sample topic reviews in the resources page. Then you have a look at the reading and do that reading to prepare you for things that we're going to do later. Again, if you want to access anything in the resources page, it's there, okay? And again, look, this is the end. I said I'd show you again. If you click this or click this, you'll leave the program and be unsubscribed, basically, okay? So that's how you're going to work through the emails, all right? And then I'll just show you now a weekday one, because day 2 falls on a weekday. And so, the work is slightly less, right? Because on a weekend, there's more work, all right? So look, day 2, you see there's going to be 1 question of the day, 1 section of online revision, case cards, again, a reminder of the weekly task. And you see the weekly tasks you've got to submit by the deadline. The daily tasks, you've got to do them all before the next email comes. You've got 48 hours, okay, to finish all of that. And remember, when you've done all of that, tick it so that it gives you that sense of satisfaction, okay? So that's how the actual program works. Just a reminder, please don't unsubscribe, okay? So really, I just want to say that this was an introductory session, so you've got a clear idea of how it all works. As Masuda and Anna said, really, really important that, first of all, welcome to the program, and that, that journey of 1,000 miles has begun. And we're going to be with you, though, every step of the way throughout this journey. And all you need to do is focus on one step at a time. Okay, commit to the program. It's really hard work. I'll reiterate what the other said earlier. Our questions are really hard, but that's because the questions aren't there as an assessment. The questions are there as part of a learning process. By making mistakes and then learning and reading up about it, that's how you actually improve. Okay, if we use really easy questions and you get them all right, all that does is it gives you a false sense of security. When you get the hard ones in the exam, then you struggle. That doesn't help you. Okay. So don't worry about your scores. They're not important. When are your scores important? On the day of the exam. You may find that you get most of our questions wrong all the way up until the last week or two in the program. Why? Because you're still learning new things, all right? And then at that point, you've covered things, you see that you start improving, all right? And also remember that we haven't yet done a lot of the taught part where we're going to teach you some of the key techniques, help you to cover some of the really challenging topics, consolidate some of the knowledge, okay? We're going to do that throughout. We've got 2 full-day courses, a half-day stats, a half-day admin, 9 live webinars. We've got a lot of taught sessions to come throughout the program. And then a lot of the other learning exercises, the daily tasks, the weekly tasks are going to build your knowledge and improve your technique throughout the way. So, welcome to the program. We're here. We're going to support you. You've got to commit. It is hard work, but we've structured it all. So you don't need to worry about what do I need to do. You just need to do the work. And if you do it and you commit, you will be prepared and you will succeed. So welcome to the program. Really looking forward to working with you and the rest of the cohort throughout the program. And just mention it now, at the end of the program, after you've done the exam, but before the results come out, I'll invite you now in advance that we're going to have a dinner in Birmingham. It'd be nice to meet you, come in person. You might have seen in the Facebook group, we post pictures where some of the doctors that have come to join us. So it's nice to actually see people in person. So, I look forward to seeing you then. Watch out for the welcome email, which will come the day before we start, and then the welcome, the day one email on the first day of the program. And then it's every other day the first 4 months, every day the last month. But I'll be seeing a lot of you throughout the whole program. So welcome to the program. Look forward to working with you. Thank you so much. Have a great evening.